Hello, welcome to Ivana's Norsk Life. In the comments, I often can see questions related to the topic relocation to Norway. And of course, this topic depends on many different things that could have happened to you. But I will try to cover the point if you imagine that you already have a job. I will touch a bit if you're a student, how it is for you, but it's still more related to people who are coming to Norway to work. So I think this topic is possible to divide in questions that needs to be really answered. First one, you should know how much money approximately do you need to have before you can relocate to Norway to make your life easier here in the first couple of months. Second question, it is to which region in Norway should you relocate so you will be happy where you are, right? So it will meet your expectation. And what are the reasons why you actually maybe shouldn't go to the northern part of Norway? Another question is about, is there any place where you can have or you can find more open job vacancies? And have you thought about climate and this like day and night balance if there is a season in Norway? Would it make any difference to you whether you have a half of the year as a day and then half of the year as a night? Or maybe if you come to the region where it's raining all the time, right? And another point that I think is also very important to talk about, it is about driving license. Are there places where you could relocate to where it's actually necessary to have a driving license? All of the things we will talk about in this video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and write your questions in the comment. Let's go! Let's start the vlog. If you're talking about how much money do I need to have for the first couple of months in Norway, let's again revisit the topic about renting an apartment. You need to rent an apartment to come here to live by. Of course, you could rent Airbnb while you will be searching for an apartment, but anyways, anywhere in Norway you want to rent apartment, you will be asked to put from 1 to 3 months security deposit on bank account. So this money you will put and not touch. So you need to have this money available when you decide to relocate to Norway. Plus you need to have 1 month's pay for the apartment. Plus you need to have at least 4,000 Norwegian kroners for food, and also I would recommend to have at least 1,000 Norwegian kroners for the public transportation. And we're even not talking about clothes or something. You also need to understand that how salaries are paid in Norway. If you need to open your tax account and to get your ID number here and so on, it also may take a bit of time for you to get the first salary. So I would recommend to have this money available for you just for 1 to 3 months ahead. And if you will have them and not use them, it's good, right? But it's also will be very challenging if you come here with not enough money. So one more time, you need to have a 3 months security deposit for your apartment. So if you imagine that you are living in Oslo and you got lucky, you found an apartment for 10,000 Norwegian kroners, then you need to have a 40,000 Norwegian kroners just for accommodation. 30,000 to put on the security deposit and 10,000 to pay ahead. If it's not included in your contract, paying for the electricity, internet, I don't know, TV, you can also account for about 2,000 to 3,000 a month that you will need. Plus, you want to have like for food at least 3,000-4,000 per month. And if you talk to have, let's say 1 month, so then it means that you need to have already 44,000-48,000 Norwegian kroners. Plus, you will need to have something for the transportation. And in Oslo, let's say that a monthly ticket costs about between 800 and 900. If we don't talk about different regions around Oslo, because then it will go over 1,000 Norwegian kroners. Then can you imagine that it comes approximately about 50,000 Norwegian kroners if you decide to relocate to Oslo. Of course, if you decide to go to some small place, it will be much smaller amount of money and you calculate it just based on the approximations that I gave you now. So yes, Norway is very expensive, and that's why salaries here are also high. When we talk about which region Norway you should go to, or maybe is better for you, there is a different points which you need to consider. Of course, the population is one of those, and the reason is because of the how many people are in that region also can define how active your social life will be. And if you're a person who needs a social life, most likely you need to go to the bigger cities in Norway. But then you want to know in which regions do you have these cities, and with these stats that I'm giving you now, you will have a knowledge about population in Norway, and especially employed population in Norway, because then you can see which region is more active than the other one. So let's go. In the whole country in 2021, because we don't have a data 2022 yet, but it is near 2.8 million of people who are employed. So you can see that Bergen area, Oslo city, then Vestland and Trøndelag are the most populated in the whole country. But what about if you have some job that is proposed to you that is on the northern part of Norway? Do you really want to go there? And here it comes this question about climate and sunlight. I would call it seasons, because in Norway in general we have a very interesting fact about climate, that it is quite warm, but not as warm as in other countries during summer, and especially on the southern part, but it is also quite cold during the winter. And when you go up in Norway to the north, the colder will be in the both seasons, and even during summer you could want to have some windproof jacket and be covered in some clothes. So this is you need to be prepared for. Another part, it is sunlight balance that we have, because for instance now it is a June, and June it is months of the white nights, where it is very light during the night. And if we talk about northern part of Norway, like really on the north, they actually have like 2 seasons of sun. They have winter when it's all the time dark, and then they have summer when it's all the time very light and the sun is up all the time. Sounds that it's impossible, but imagine when you look outside and it always look like 4 or 5 p.m. and sun is up. This is what happens on the northern part of Norway for a couple of months. And also imagine when it's all the time dark. It's also a challenge. If we talk about just the central part of Norway, during winter it's very little amount of hours when you have a sun. Of course, if it's cloudy and so on, then probably you could even have this like really dark feeling all the time, and it can be very depressive. And I know people who will live in Norway just for that reason. So for you to be aware that you need to consider very much this day-night balance in the country, and be ready to that more north you go, the worst will be this day-night balance. And let's look on the last question about where is more open job vacancies. In the previous video I have reviewed about different high demand jobs in Norway, but also I think it would be a fair point to explain that there are some types of job that will be much easier to find in a large cities than in a small areas, rural areas, where people are just driving some type of industrial activities, or it could be fishery and so on. So they will be limited. Of course, when we talk about fishery, then probably you would be interested by some place that is near the sea area. So this you need to consider, and then you need to be prepared to the bad weather. But of course, in most of the cases, large cities, they have more job offers, and a smaller city is, or like town, the less flexible it is. And the worst part, I think, for those who want to relocate will be that you actually need to know Norwegian. If you will go to the like really small towns or smaller cities, you will be expected to know Norwegian in most of the cases. Of course, seasonal jobs, it's a bit different, but if you are talking like relocated to Norway, so you want to live in Norway, then of course you need to consider a large cities such as Oslo, Bergen, Trondheim, Stavanger. I almost forgot about one more point. When you're relocating to very small towns and cities in Norway, you need to be ready that public transportation there is not that good, and probably you will need to have a driving license. So please keep it in mind when you're considering about relocation to Norway. Thank you for watching me until the end. And if you have more questions on relocation that need to be answered, please write them in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to have a bell notification turned on so you know when the new video is up. And have a nice day and see you next time. Bye!